Ukraine's president has released a video plea calling on world leaders to attend a peace summit next month in Switzerland.
I'm appealing to the leaders of the world who are still aside of the global efforts of the Global Peace Summit. To President Biden, the leader of the United States, and to President Xi, the leader of China. We do not want the UN Charter to be burned down just like these books.
Joining me live in the studio is Ambassador from Ukraine to Australia, Vasyl Miroshnichenko. You're president there with a direct plea to both the US and Chinese leaders. Why is it important to have both of them in Switzerland at that summit next month?
We already have about 80 nations who have confirmed their participation, but it's important that the leaders of China and US are present there, because at the end of the day, the purpose of this summit is to renew trust in the UN Charter, to renew international law, and make sure that we can stop this war. And we can only do it from a standpoint of a majority of the world by actually having them there and coming up with a plan of how we can force Russia into peace. And
who is Australia sending? Will we have a senior representative?
Well, Australia is still considering who will be represented there. They confirmed that they will be represented, but it's important that Australia sends a senior government minister to be there. And Australia has always in the past acted to unjust situations in the world by acting accordingly, and we just hope that Australia can continue doing so.
Would an assistant minister suffice? Or would you like to see someone like the Deputy Prime Minister there?
It would be great to have a Deputy Prime Minister or a senior level minister represented there. It's of course the matter for the government, for the Prime Minister to decide who will represent Australia, but we're asking for the most senior possible level. We will be having already the Prime Ministers of Canada, Prime Minister of President of France, Prime Minister of Japan, who will be there. So it's important for Australia to be represented there at the highest possible level.
We saw President Zelenskyy there. He gave that address and that video was done in Kharkiv, which is really the front line at the moment of the latest Russian offensive. How is your country holding up in the face of that?
Oh, Kharkiv is now being attacked on a daily basis. Just over this weekend, Russians have destroyed a big printing house, which was printing books in Ukraine. Probably 30% of all the books were printed there. They killed like 6 people who were there on the spot. On Saturday, they've attacked a big shop, a big store, which is an equivalent of Bunnings. Over 200 people were there at that time. We already hear about 16 people who are dead. Another 16 are missing, 50 are injured. And there was this footage of this little...
Would that be just a mistake, or is that targeted?
I think it's targeted. I mean, they're, just to intimidate the civilian population. And that's done deliberately. And they just... it's pretty indiscriminate. They're sending gliding bombs, and for that, for that attack on that big store, there was this footage of this little boy who's 9 years old. He's providing his saliva as a DNA material so that the rescuers could identify his father, who was there in that store. I mean, and it's just heartbreaking to watch that.
It is, no doubt. And you obviously want ongoing support from Australia. Where is your attention now? I know you've renewed your request for more coal shipments. What are you hearing from the government on that?
Oh, it's under consideration at the moment, and coal for us is a lifeline at the moment, because without thermal coal, it will be extremely difficult for us to go through the next winter. As Russians are killing people at the moment, winter may kill actually more people when the winter comes in 5-6 months from now. Also, it's a matter of...
So you need the coal now.
We need the coal now. If
prepare for winter.
If the decision comes now, it will be delivered by the time the winter comes. And it's also crucial for our economy to be going, for our jobs to be secured, for defense industry working, and generally country operating, because without electricity, it will be quite challenging.
Ambassador Miroshnichenko, thank you as always.
Thanks for having me.